When
make
you
you
realize
feel
that
better.
there are good things going on, it's like you feel better within yourself. Because if you always focus on the negative, you actually get really sad.
That's
And
true.
to give you the courage to continue.
That's true. Okay, so there have been many studies, and the studies show that it lowers people's stress levels when they're grateful, when they recognize, it keeps away depression, it's better for your heart, it lowers your blood pressure, it improves your sleep. So there's actually studies done of what gratitude does for you. And what's also interesting, I mean, I just like from like I want to call it like psychologists and things that you see online, these quick things like on Instagram and stuff. A lot of them tell you to like wake up with gratitude.
Yeah,
you
make
know,
a journal of
right? Things
Yeah.
things like that. So Judaism is
Yeah.
very, very big into this, into gratitude, and actually the name Jew comes from what? Yehudi. Yehudi means Yehuda is Oda. Leah, the mother of Yehuda, said, I thank God for giving me this child. Okay, so the whole word Jew is the word of thanks and gratitude. Yes. So it's a big religious thing. And okay, so here we go. And we're gonna learn about it today. Okay. So there's this idea in Judaism. Okay, so in this week's Torah portion, this week's Parsha, it talks about different types of like what worth of things and of actually people too, or animals, worth of everything. Okay, in the Talmud, there's a whole section called Erchin, which is all about that. Okay, we're only going to discuss like a little bit of it. That's gonna be the confusing part, and then the rest of the lesson is going to be a takeoff from there. Okay,
Worth, you mean as in the shekel?
like how much something is worth, right? Or no, how much is, let's say, how much is animal that you could that's good for working? How much is it worth? What if it has a damage? What if it's like has a disability? How much is it worth then? How much is, like, God forbid, if let's say even people worth, but because let's say in relation to if this person got injured, what damages you have to pay if you did something, So what we're going to talk about is a certain real estate. Okay, so in Judaism, there's an idea that, let's say, in the times of the Beit HaMikdash, people had their land, right? The land they were given from the inheritance from when they moved into the land of Israel, and the families kept the families kept the land, like the property, they have to keep it within the family. And let's say you decide you want to give a portion of your land to the Beis Hamikdash, to Hashem, like as a gift. Okay, there's two ways to do it. Okay, there's one way we say it's called hekdesh, which means like holy, like consecrated, sanctified. It's kadosh for the Beis Hamikdash. And then there's something else called chayrim. Okay, and I know she knows what it means, and she's looking at me like, what? But I'm gonna hold off. I'm not gonna tell them what it means yet. Let's read inside text number 1. This is from the Parsha, and then we'll explain what happened, what these two ideas are. Hi, Sylvia. Okay. Who wants to read text number 1?
Okay. The person consecrates some of the field of their inherited property to Hashem. The valuation shall be according to its selling. An area that requires a homer of barley or of barley seeds at 50 silver shekels.
Okay, so what does this mean? Let's say you want to put exactly. You want to put aside some of your field for Hashem. So how do you evaluate it? What's the square footage? Like how much is it per square foot? So there in the old days, there was a measurement called homer. That was a certain measurement. Let's say it's like a square foot, whatever it is. I'm just making that up. And you say, okay, how many barley seeds can we fit into this area? And how much, okay, the measurement of the barleys is the homer. So how much, this amount of barley, how much area does it fit? And for each homer of barley is 50 silver shekel. So if you could fit in 5 homers of barley, then it would be 250 shekel worth, right? So okay, so let's say, so someone will say, okay, I want to I want to give this part of my property, like I want to give a gift to Hashem, I want to give something to the Beis Hamikdash. This part of my property, I'm closing off for Beis Hamikdash. Okay, so so then the Kohanim, the people in charge of the Beis Hamikdash, they could take that area and sell it or do something with it, and because it's like theirs, and that's how you did it. Now, so now let's say you wanted to take it back. Okay, let's find out. Okay, okay. Let's say you can take it. Right. You want to buy it back. Yeah, you want to redeem it back. You gave it to the Beis Hamikdash for a certain amount of time. Then for some reason or another, now you want it back. Okay. So that's another reason why you'd want to know how much it's worth. Okay. So now let's read text number. Okay. So if you gave it as hekdesh, as like kadosh, like making this like right. Let's say you say, okay, I'm taking this animal and bringing it for the Beis Hamikdash. It's kadosh. It's holy. You can't do anything with it then. But in the field, you could technically buy it back because you have to pay them back. Now, so that's okay.
No interest.
No interest.
No.
No.
That's what I'm saying. You
Right.
can buy it back.
Now there's we said before cherem. There's another way of doing it through cherem, and let's see what that is, and let's see what it means. Text number 2. Okay.
מכל אשר לא, מאדם ובהמה ומשדה אחוזתו, לא ימכר, לא ייגאל, כל חרם קדוש קודשים הוא לאדוני. Wow.
Okay. So if you declare it cherem, you can never take it back. You can never get it back. Now, what does cherem mean? Let's say how you translate it, and then I'll say how I translate it.
Cherem, it's if I have all of this, I take.
I can't hear anybody at all.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird. Maybe put up your sound because we're talking pretty loud.
I can hear you, but I can't hear anybody else.
Okay. I can put the. I have a. Okay, go ahead. Keep going.
Thank you.
I think it's if I have all the cake here, so I take. I
Yeah.
said this is for but I take all of this.
Oh, what's cherem? Cherem usually means I can't find the. Had a-
Right here.
Okay. Cherem. Okay, I'll explain. Okay.
Okay.
Usually cherem is used in the negative. So let's say if
Right.
you want to disassociate with someone, or if you want to like I don't want to have anything to do with this anymore. Okay, I'm separating, right? Like excommunication, things like that is cherem usually. So when you're saying cherem, means like, oh, like keep away from this. We don't want this. We want. Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh well. Okay. So the question is how. So I can't. Oh, here it is. I found a way. Okay, 1 second, Sylvia. You'll be able to hear. Okay. So usually it's used in a very negative way, like, oh.
I don't understand.
Okay. I'll give you an example. Usually when you say cherem, it's hey, you guys heard of like the chained woman, right? The woman who wants to get a divorce, her husband won't give her anything. So a lot of times they'll do is they'll put that husband into cherem, let's say. They'll excommunicate him. That means that if you, now officially this is not supposed to be part of the class, but we're going to say that anyway. So let's say if someone does something really, really bad or really hurts the community, and I mean, I don't know how often it's done today, but maybe sometimes in those cases it is. So they'll say this person isn't cherem. That means no one could do business with him. No one will have anything to do with him. They will not count him as a minion. They like nothing. Okay, to totally excommunicate him.
In Israel, there is a big problem.
Yeah, with that. Yeah.
In our
Okay.
children in school, there is one child that is not good enough in the society. So
Yeah.
they said all the
All the-
children
yeah,
say
yeah.
"Nase cherem."
Yeah,
So we
like-
do-
They all ignore him. We're all going to ignore that
Yes.
person. So usually cherem is like disassociate,
Yes.
like nothing to do with you, like get rid of it. I don't want it. So why would we say like we want something holy for Hashem?
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Yes,
And-
it's,
And they were saying, okay, this is cherem, so the Beis Hamikdash could have it, but then you can never get it back. Okay, so this sounds very strange. Doesn't make
why
any
give
sense.
a cherem?
Right, exactly. Why is it called cherem if it's making it holy? Usually holy would be a better, nicer word, like, right? Like we said hekdesh, which means like make it holy. So let us, we skipped text number
Three. Okay.
So hektish can be redeemed and cherem can never be redeemed. Okay, that's what we really have to know. Okay, and now let's understand why cherem, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so text number 3. So this is an example of what cherem is. Okay, text number 3. Okay, yeah.
Burn the statutes of their idols in fire. Do not cover the silver and gold upon them and take it for yourself, lest you stumble because of it, for it is an abomination before your God. Do not bring abomination into your house, lest you become cherem, like it. You shall utterly revile it and abhor it, for it is cherem.
Okay, so usually it's like idol worship. Oh, cherem, like
Yeah.
stay away, abhor it. Okay. So why here is the field called cherem? Well, how does that make it holy? That doesn't sound right.
Isn't that a sort of a contradiction of a here?
Yeah, that
saying
too.
Not, oh, yeah, that's here.
Okay. Great.
And then
Yeah, it's
you're
kind of a
making a
contradiction.
land.
Yeah. So let's read next number 4.
Oh.
Anna's turn.
Anything that a person declares harem to God, even though the item itself is not destroyed, vis-a-vis the owner, it is as if it's destroyed, for they can no longer benefit from it.
Okay. So when you say harem, when you count something as harem, it's as if it's destroyed. It's like you don't have any benefit from anymore, no matter what. So you're disassociating yourself, you're separating yourself, you're making that field ownerless almost. Okay, this field is just for God. It's nothing to do with me anymore. Okay. So you could say, you could have other ways of saying it. She wants a cookie.
You made 'em,
So
right?
amazing.
Yeah, but they're vegan and yeah.
Oh,
They're kind of
They're made with
They're
oat.
amazing.
No, they're made with oat and
They're
clear.
not-
Yeah,
they're
not
not-
clear.
Well,
Flour
I'm
and
actually
the
learning
recipe,
to oats like oatmeal. I'm learning to
Oh.
oatmeal.
Oat
Okay,
flour.
and this is made with oat flour.
And whatever, but does that mean is it mixed oat and wheat or just pure oat?
Did
Man,
you
I
blend the oats or did you just?
No,
buy
I bought the
flour?
oat flour. It has oat flour and like paleo flour. Or whatever.
Oh, Play-Doh's okay.
It's a mix.
Okay,
Okay.
well,
That's
maybe
it.
I'll
What happens
understand.
if you eat
Okay.
it?
It's paleo.
Wait,
I mean, okay, let's get through this. Okay, I'll talk about it.
Okay.
Maybe I just pronounced it
Well, we
wrong.
have to know what happens
Okay,
if she
so listen.
eats it.
I don't think she's that allergic. She's probably just sensitive to
I'm
it.
gonna, I'm gonna get a reaction.
Okay.
I'll just get a reaction at home and not in front of
Okay,
you.
no problem. Okay,
Okay.
so why
Bon
instead of
appetit
saying
then.
harem, why can't they say, I declare my field holy of holies. I declare my field old for God. Why does it have to use the word harem? Doesn't make any sense. So
Yeah.
so it's a little bit strange here. So there is a reason. So there is a rabbi in the 13th century, Rabbi Aaron Halevi. He is known as the Chinuch. That was like his like nickname, however you want to call it. Maybe it's the book he wrote is called Sefer HaChinuch. It's a very famous book.
You're saying it with a different accent.
Sefer HaChinuch.
Sefer
Is that the-
HaChinuch, it's the
Okay.
book of
Education. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so text number 5. This is what he says. He says the reason he's giving it to Hashem is not because he's so happy and looking forward to like give something to Hashem, but he actually does want to like push himself from that field. Okay, so let's read text number 5.
Oh,
I'm not sure. Sylvia, do you want to read? Are you? She's not on.
I don't
She's
know.
busy. She might be busy.
Okay, shall I read?
Yes.
Okay, go for it, Anna.
You didn't read yet? I'm
I
sorry.
did, I did.
Go read it.
It's
And
just
stop.
so
And then
long.
Yvette will be next. Okay.
As
Oh,
long as the
We
Jewish-
love hearing you speak.
Sure. As long as the Jewish people are devoted to God's Torah and mitzvot, only good will come to them, and they will be supported by an abundance of blessing and a generous and pure spirit. The opposite, curses and destruction, will befall their enemies. Therefore, if someone in a fit of melancholy utters an expression of curse or harem about their money or their land, which are really blessed, the Torah informs us that one cannot really remove an item from the domain of blessing to another cursed domain.
So for example, let's give you a little cute example. Because let's say you're trying to work with your hair that morning. You'll say, oh my God, I'm having a terrible time with hair. Who gave me this crazy hair? Right? And you don't mean it. Yeah. You don't really want to get rid of your hair, but you're getting very frustrated, right? So you might like say something bad about something that you have. That's good.
You don't know it's good yet.
You might know it's good. You might not know it's good. You don't appreciate it. You don't appreciate it at the moment.
Right.
For everything that belongs to a Jew really belongs to God, who is blessed. Nevertheless, because we now know that this person really wants to remove this item from their possession, we'll give them what they wished for and return the item to its true master, and then it will become truly holy.
Okay, so in short, they kind of show a little ungratefulness. Okay, and they show ungratefulness to this field. Oh, who gave me this field? It's full of thorns. Why do I have this field? Okay, Hashem, you can have it, right? I'm going to give this field up to Hashem. Because you don't really want that so much. You don't really like it. You're like clearing it. You're like, yeah, you know?
Are you saying that, like, if you complained about something, it might be taken away from you?
That's what the
Even
whole
if
class
it's
is about.
good?
That's what the whole class is about to be grateful or angry. Yeah.
That's bad.
Okay.
Even if we're just joking around, like.
Okay, well, yeah, whatever. Listen, we can't, it's not like,
Okay to joke around, isn't it?
it's, obviously not everything is black and white,
Yeah.
but it's giving you like a little insight, think a little bit more
There's
when
room
you,
for ingratitude, just don't
Yes.
be too ungrateful.
Nevertheless, because we know that this person really wants to remove this item from their possession, we'll give them what they wish for. Like,
you have to also remember that's written in the 13th century.
yeah,
Okay.
right.
So now a more recent rabbi, he explains this a little bit deeper in text number 6. His name is Yisrael Zev Gustman. Okay, let's read number 6. Yvette, okay, so it's your turn. You're passing?
I'll read it.
Okay, go for it.
In my humble opinion, the concept of cherem is as follows. In truth, one who declares their property cherem does not intend to donate it to the priest nor to the temple treasury. Rather, they simply declare it cherem, cursed. All the pursuant laws of cherem are only there to fix the curse. Indeed, the Mishnah does not say the owner gives it to the Kohen. Rather, it says that the property is given to the Kohen, implying that this was not the owner's intention, but rather the Torah's way of handling the cherem. It also does not say that the field is given to a Kohen, like teruma, implying that it is given to the Kohen like the other rights of priesthood. Rather, giving it to the Kohen is simply the protocol for a cherem field.
So basically, he didn't say this is a gift for the Kohen, this is a gift for the Beis HaMikdash. It's more like, oh, I'm putting this in cherem, so that automatically, if nothing's in a field is in cherem, it goes to the property of the Beis HaMikdash.
But why
The
would
Kohen
he
take
do
hold of
that
it.
if it's a prosperous field? If he wasn't trying to be nice and give charity, then why would he say cherem? I don't
He just
even
at that
get it.
moment he was like, yeah,
Frustrated from pruning or
whatever it is, yeah, I don't
clearing
know.
the field.
Or he just didn't want it at that moment. He didn't
What's the
appreciate it.
thing? Like we're giving it to Hashem or
So-
have more
So
fruit.
this is also a deeper insight. It's not the basic meaning.
Okay.
Okay, it's not the basic shot. It's not the basic explanation in the Torah, but this is more the deeper insight of it.
Ah,
Okay. So once it goes on, right?
yeah. The Sefer
Chinuch.
Hinuk
Yeah.
writes explicitly, as we said, that cherem is a curse the owner pronounces on their property. Therefore, it becomes forbidden for the owner to derive any benefit from it. We obey the owner's wishes to make it a cursed field, but we fix the curse by giving it to a Kohen. Therefore, once the cherem field is in a Kohen's possession, it becomes permitted for anyone, even the original owner, to benefit from it. This is really confusing. Like, what does this mean? Usually you get it, but there's a lot of twists and turns.
Right. So, what we're getting out of this is that for whatever reason, this person didn't love it, or was not grateful for this item, and so he didn't give the choicest of his field. He didn't give the best. It was just more like, let me get, there's an easy tax write-off, like that. That's a good way to
I see.
deal with my field over here. So he declares it cherem. He declares it kind of like an ownerless, just owns it, and then he can never get it back. There's no way he can't buy it back one day. He can't say, "Oh, I made a mistake. Now I want it back." But if he did a hektish, then he could get it back. The way he does it here, too bad. Okay.
He does, he's saying if the Cohen does something, he gets it
Yeah,
back.
it says if
He
it's
said
said that
He said if you do
if it's given
something
to the Kohen,
Kohen,
it
you
becomes
get it back.
permitted for anyone, even the
So, but it's
original
not really-
owner to benefit from.
If he's given to the Kohen, we obey the owner's wishes to make it curse now, but we fix. Okay, so he fixed the curse by giving it to a Kohen. So this is, I don't know, this is the, 1 second. So technically the Kohen can give it to him, but he's not he'd have to he's not gonna redeem it. He can't ask for it back. He can't get it back. If the Kohen decides to gift it to him out of nowhere, but
Maybe benefit from doesn't mean to own again, maybe
Right.
it's benefit from in other ways.
Oh,
okay.
you have to get
Who knows?
food or pleasure
Yeah.
or something.
Okay, so when we think about it, think of our life, all of our property, everything we have, from soup to nuts, is given to us by Hashem. It's all a blessing. It's all a bracha. It's all, blessings from Hashem. And so how can we tell Hashem, oh, we don't want this blessing anymore? It's enough. Or I don't care for this, right? That's kind of ungratefulness, which is what our class is about. So if you don't appreciate what you have, if someone doesn't appreciate what they have, God forbid, God might say, okay, you don't enjoy, you don't,
Sorry, I
Yeah.
want a question. You mean even bad things that happen for life?
that's a good question.
Because
No, so everything we have is a blessing. We didn't
Yes.
always see the blessing.
yes,
So
I
it's
think
hidden.
so. But
It's hidden.
sometimes I say, okay, I understand. Stop.
Right, but
There is a
yeah,
lot of
so
people.
we're
Yeah.
talking on the face of it, like everything that God gives us is is a blessing. As I said before, like, the person with the hair, they might be upset with their hair that day, but they really like,
No.
but like, we're not talking about like everything that God gives you, we're saying every blessing that God gives
Would
you.
you ever really not answer something good? I mean, if there's something good, why would you say stop the good?
Because
Yes.
people, we're saying, for example, okay, we're gonna read some
Okay.
stuff that will explain it. But what I'm saying, people don't always appreciate the good that they have.
Yes.
Well,
the
what
people-
about-
That's not everybody knows that.
Okay, so that's what we're talking
But
about.
what about something like, this might be a really stupid analogy, especially
Shelley.
in light of what you just said,
No,
but
no.
what
I'm
if
sorry.
I like my apartment, for example, what if I'm like, well, I want a bigger space, I want it more renovated, but even though I know that I'm grateful to live where I do and it's a perfect location, blah, 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 would that be an example of it?
So we have, so this class, we're going to continue learning more, like little more examples and things, but it's a powerful lesson. This idea is a powerful lesson about being grateful versus being ungrateful, about our attitude, about just our attitude, just being grateful or not makes a huge difference in the blessings that we get from Hashem.
Yeah.
Okay, and you see some people are always blessing and always thanking, and somehow they're always getting, even the little things. Maybe they have nothing, but they have one little thing and they're grateful for it. They're so happy. That alone is a blessing, But then, God
Gives more.
gives more. And it's like, when's that happening?
I was hoping at the beginning that you get more stuff.
Right, okay. So this is a very interesting story. We're going to read next. A little story that happened in the time of the prophets. There was a king called Chizkiyahu. And Chizkiyahu, he was one of the Davidic kings. So he came from King David. I think it was like the 13th king from the dynasty of David. He fought Sancherib, who was the emperor of Assyria. Now, what Sancherib had done is, at that point, the Jewish people were split into two. There was the people that were ruled under the King David's, the camp of David. Then there's people who were ruled under what's called the Israel, they were like, their king was from Manasseh. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Okay. So those were 10 tribes. Sancherib had fought them and took the 10 tribes, the people from that kingdom, into exile. And those are the lost 10 tribes that we know about, that we say, whatever happened to them? Are they in Ethiopia? They're on the other side of some river called the Sambatyon? Like what, the whole mystery, who are the 10 tribes? Or what happened to them? Who remained in Israel was the king, the David camp, remember the people that came from Judea. Judea is because they were part of the kingdom of Judah. Now, Yehuda, where King David is from. So this king Chizkiyahu, he fought Sancherib, he won over Sancherib. So Sancherib didn't take the Jews of Judea into captivity. Okay? That's who remains from the Jewish people till today.
This is the first temple, or the first temple? Or second temple?
First temple.
First temple.
I think so, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So first temple. Okay. So he won, and it says, obviously everything is destined, but it says that Hashem wanted to make him the Mashiach. Like Mashiach would come then, because why? It says before Mashiach comes, there'll be a war of Gog and Magog. They'll fight, and then the king, when the Jews win, and that king, and Chizkiyahu was also good because he brought Jewish people back to Judaism. People at that were worshiping idols. They weren't really following everything so well and exactly how they're supposed to do things. And he encouraged people to return to the Judaism, to get rid of their idols, to follow Hashem, to do everything, the right way. So Hashem was going to make him Mashiach, but it didn't happen. Obviously, we're still here today. No Mashiach. Why? So there might be many different reasons why. And obviously it was said that whatever was destined to be was destined to be. But the Talmud discusses it, and this is one of the things the Talmud says is that Chizkiyahu was not grateful enough. And let's read that, text number 7. And we have Shelley, so Shelley can read.
He said,
Okay,
Yeah.
will do.
David HaMelech. he
It's
said,
Yahoo.
yes, he said, ריבונו של עולם, he said to him, what דוד המלך ישראל שאמר, he said, דוד המלך said, that all of this of
Yeah,
him
yeah.
and
What happened? So
yeah.
let's read text. Yeah, so we're gonna you can read it in Hebrew, we're gonna read it in English.
Yes,
Okay,
okay.
Shelly, go ahead. Shelly's gonna read.
Verse,
Okay.
the verse states, to he who increases lemarbeh,
Okay, so we're talking about Kiskiyahu. Lemarbeh in Hebrew means to increase, to make more.
lemarbeh.
It's very interesting.
Okay,
If you look
God's-
in Hebrew,
They put
Yael is going to show us, and Yvette, that the mem isn't a regular mem, it's the mem that's usually used at the end of the word.
in the word.
A mem sofit,
But it's in the
final
middle.
mem. Yeah,
But it's
look
in
at the
the
first word of text in
Here.
the Hebrew, the text 7.
Okay.
It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
like this.
Yes,
Little
yes, I
box.
see
It's
that.
different.
Yeah.
And why is
so
it so very
strange.
so keep that attention, keep that in
I
mind.
can't read Hebrew, so it's
And-
confusing, but.
Yeah,
Okay.
Man, it's
Shelly, you can keep reading.
here.
Wow.
Okay.
Cool.
To he who increases lemarbeh, God's authority, and for him there shall be peace without end, etc. Rabbi Tanhum said in Sepphoris Bar Kapara, expounded this verse as follows. Why is it that every letter mem that appears in the middle of the word is an open mem, but the mem in lemarbeh is closed, as a closed mem? The closed mem indicates that God wanted to make Hezekiah Messiah, Gog and Magog. However, the divine attribute of justice said to God, Master of the universe, if David, king of Israel, who recited numerous songs and praises before you, you did not make the Messiah, then Hezekiah, for whom you performed all these miracles, and yet he did not sing any songs of gratitude before you, will you really make him the Messiah? Because of this, the mem closed.
Okay, so King David, he's known for what? The Tehillim, right? He sang all these songs of praise to Hashem.
Songs.
So Psalms, right? He wasn't Messiah. He did so much, and he gives so much praises. Here's Chiskiyahu didn't sing any praises after his winning his war, after his victory with Sancheiriv. So how could we make him the Mashiach? He didn't have that gratitude. He didn't have that. In Hebrew, we call it Hakaras HaTov, recognizing the good. Okay, so because we said, because he was a good man, he was a great person.
I believe because I've never met any Jewish person really who doesn't have. I mean, like a good person like this who doesn't have gratitude.
No, but each person on their level.
Oh, that's it.
Each person on their level.
Oh,
B
that's
is
it.
obviously this is only one
Right.
option, one
Right.
reason why it
Right.
didn't happen. There's really
Right.
there's only
Okay, I
one
get
discussion in the
He
Talmud.
probably did, but he had.
He didn't sing a song. He didn't sing like
Right.
like Devorah sang a song after she
Right.
won her battle.
Right.
Moshe sang the song when they
Right.
crossed the Red Sea.
Right.
He didn't make a song. Now, again, also, this is not like the final reason. The Talmud is discussion.
Mhm.
It's because of this, or because of that, maybe this, maybe that. So this is just one of the possibilities.
Is Leber Melech, is that gratitude or trust?
Where are you reading?
The first, there's Leber Melech, the word.
Lamarbeh?
Oh, Lamar.
It means to increase.
Oh,
So he increasing God's authority, meaning like he didn't like increase like his gratitude as
I
things how great
see.
God.
Well,
God-
It's to
make
it
bigger, right.
So
So
you're
if
saying-
he had, he may have been the
May.
with the M capital.
Yeah, may.
Oh,
And it
okay,
also could just
because-
be, right.
Okay, that sounds a little
He was
bit,
maybe the possibility, like the person of that generation that could have been the Mashiach.
well, maybe he was just humble
Okay.
and he didn't have a good voice to sing.
Okay.
Are
I'm
you saying that out of all of the
Sarah?
mems in the Torah, this is the only one that's closed?
No, all the usually normally if it's the end of a word, it's
Yeah.
always closed.
Okay.
It's never in the beginning.
middle
or
of
the
That's
of the
the
word.
only exception.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
The final mem.
Yeah.
And actually in Yiddish,
Oh,
they call it, some people call it Schloss mem, which is locked mem, closed mem.
Wow,
That's
that's
pretty
pretty
cool.
cool. That's
Yeah.
very,
It's only at the very end.
And there's another word term people use, I think it's melupim, but I'm not sure what that means.
Okay, so King David could have been
No, King
cool.
Chiskiyahu.
King Yachiyahu.
Chiskiyahu, yeah.
This could have been.
Yeah, okay, yes. So now,
We gotta find him now,
so now let's go on.
because this world is.
That's not supposed to be.
We're ready for you.
Yes. So in Hebrew, as I said before, we call it hakaras hatov, hakarat hatov. which means recognizing the good, we also have to recognize that Hashem, that God is the source of all good. Okay, so we learn this in many different places, but one of the easiest places, or the first places, is right when the world was created. Okay, Hashem created the world, but he didn't really create rain. He didn't really bring rain at first. Okay, like it was feeling a natural cycle. The world was created, right? I'm sure some places in the world it should be raining right now. I'm sure there is some places in the world raining. So let's read text 8a.
Okay,
Okay.
the rainforest.
So why is there no rain? Let's read.
Okay, I will read. Yes. Now, no tree of the field was yet on the earth, neither did any herb of the field yet grow, because Hashem had not brought rain upon the earth, and there was no person to work the soil.
Okay, so let's read 8b. Why? Why was there no rain? Oh, yeah, get the Hebrew.
You in
Okay.
Hebrew? כי לא המטיר ומה טעם לא המטיר. לפי שהאדם אין לעבוד את האדמה ואין מכיר בטובתם של גשמים. וכשבא אדם וידע שהם צורך לעולם, התפלל עליהם וירדו וצמחו האילנות והדשאים. It's incredible.
Yeah, so only when Adam was created and he realized, hey, we need rain to get the things going, he prayed to Hashem for it. And only once he prayed, so once he like gave that recognition that it's Hashem giving us everything, and Hashem needs to give us something to make these things grow, only that's when it rained. You have to go?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna send a video that I'm gonna show at the end, okay?
We'll talk to you. Bye. Thanks for
How did he even know there was such a thing like rain?
He realized that there's something missing.
Well, is this related when you say Geshem, the praying for rain between those, between what, I forgot already, what was the time?
We
Geshem
started,
between what day?
we started,
Sukkot?
the end of Sukkot, the
End of Sukkot.
Shmini Atzeres, yeah.
Shmini Atzeret, and then, because you pray for rain, you know? it's
Yes.
only a certain time.
מוריד הגשם
Yeah.
והטל.
Rashi Baruch,
Yeah,
Rashi
so
Baruch,
right.
Rashi
So,
Baruch.
but is that, because that's why that's what we get it because of Adam.
Well, it's a whole thing. Everything, if you go back to it, relies on agriculture, right? For us to live, everything relies on agriculture.
Yeah.
Rain is the basic. So Adam himself, once he realized that we need rain and it's coming from God and all this is coming from God, that's when the rain actually came. That's when the blessing, right? Rain is synonymous with blessing.
I don't know if they is that prayer, the Adam prayer. That's the Adam prayer.
I don't know if that's the Adam prayer. That's a good question.
Adam has a
But they say that he didn't want to work the
Field. In the beginning, he
field.
didn't have to until he sinned, until
Right.
But he didn't have the
Sin.
tools either. What does
Oh, he
he
figured it
have?
out. He figured it out
He
pretty
didn't
quickly.
recognize. He didn't say thank you for the
Well, he
rain.
prayed and he realized, and then once he prayed and he realized
Oh, boy.
that saying God, that Adam needed to recognize that to realize that something as natural as rain is a blessing.
Wait, and you think he prayed for rain before or after the?
Before it rained.
No, the Garden of Eden. So was he prayed in the Garden of Eden?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
so.
he did.
I
Oh, so
think,
he
yeah.
already knew that.
Yeah,
He had
yeah.
awareness.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because then right away the trees grew, because it says here the trees
Right.
didn't even
So
grow.
that's the problem. You prayed too much rain, you got that tree. That's the problem.
Okay,
Be careful.
so
Exactly. Exactly.
So we all have to recognize every single thing we have, right? Everything, even think of it as natural. You woke up in the morning, you're breathing, you have a shower, you have water to take a shower from, you could take a drink of water, you swallow. Every little thing in your life
Right.
is a blessing. Sometimes we notice it more than others, but we realize how grateful we could be for all these things. Hashem gave us, it might be a job, it might be family, it might be a house, it might be food, it might be just a roof over our heads, it might be our health. But every little thing, it just doesn't come from ourselves, doesn't come from nature. It looks like it comes from nature, but really it's coming from Hashem. And when we realize that, so first we recognize that it's good. We hakarat hato, we recognize the goodness, and then we recognize where does the goodness come from? It comes from Hashem. Okay, and those are the two main ingredients we need to have gratitude and that get these blessings in our life. So when you don't show that gratitude, the blessings could, God forbid, dry up. It's not a punishment, but you're not appreciating it, so it's not going to come.
Right, but
You
it's
have to
okay, I
appreciate it.
think, to be very grateful, but also if there's things that you don't have, that
You
it's
can-
okay to still feel like,
course you-
oh, I wish I could have.
But you're
this.
praying
Pray
for,
for them.
you're praying for
Yeah.
them, and that means you recognize that it's coming from Hashem.
Right,
Of
but
course.
sometimes you have to like maybe.
You're supposed to pray.
It's two
Yeah.
different things. You can still, I mean, you're grateful, say you wanna change the chandelier, but always
Right.
grateful for the light we have.
Right,
But what if
right.
there's things that
But
you
they're
don't
so
like,
separate
but
from
like
each
you
So-
also
other.
have to accept that that's the way it's supposed to be, right?
So,
Your daughter
there is an
or my
idea
parents,
that the
Jewish
more
things like that, it's
That
hard.
when you're grateful, when you're like,
Yeah, exactly.
let's just give a simple example, right? Let's say
I don't know.
a little child wants a cookie.
Right.
Or maybe an adult, and
Maybe about you. Why don't we get specific?
and they say, oh my gosh, you make the best cookies,
You make
you
the
know,
best cookie.
they're so yummy,
So
they're
yummy.
delicious,
They're
da, da, da,
delicious.
da, right?
Yes.
So then the person's more apt to give you another cookie.
That's
Oh, you want a
true.
cookie?
Right.
Here's a
Right,
cookie.
you're
So you're
right.
getting those
Your buds are
blessings, you're getting the good stuff.
replenished.
So when you're telling Hashem, oh, thank you so much. There's this woman, I don't know if you know her, Rebbetzin Yamima.
Ah, of course.
She is a riot. She is
don't
so
know.
funny. She lives in Israel. She's a big Rebbetzin in Israel, and she says like she says things so cute. She's like, your husband, he doesn't help you, he doesn't do anything. You look at him, but you're really looking at God and saying, wow, you're the best. You're so helpful. Like that. So she's saying is like, show gratitude, show goodness to people, but obviously to Hashem, for sure to Hashem. And then if that's how it will come, that's how it manifests. So when you're thanking Hashem, when you're realizing Hashem is the one giving the goodness, you keep thanking him and keep saying good things, and that's what's going to keep those
I
lines open.
will give
That's funny.
all of you an example of my story.
Yeah.
Yes.
Every day, I tell to Shannon, okay? Every day I say to Shannon, don't
Her
worry.
daughter.
I have a daughter that she's with cancer. She's fighting about cancer here, yes.
Yeah,
I
that's why
came
they're
from
here.
Israel.
Oh.
They came just for
So
treatment.
every day I say to her, I look at up and I say, you see, we are sick now. It's okay, but God try us. Don't worry. It's okay. We will show him that we love him, and you will see everything will be okay. Every day I say to her, and she's laughing. Mama, את מצחיקה, you are funny. How you say this? I say, you will see. And every day you have something small, really small, nice. I say to you, see, this is a sign.
Right, any
This
little
is a
teeny
sign.
thing they can take
Small
Hashem, even in this
miracle.
in this difficult situation. And I want to say, just like when you guys came and the few times that we met, I'm like blown away at your like gratitude and thankfulness and
Yes.
everything,
Yeah,
whatever they can do, they're doing. And like
Right.
the door in Chabad was broken, her husband right away went to Ace to go to get
Oh
stuff
my
to fix it.
God,
Like,
yes.
all the other people walk in and walk out, oh, broken door. They right away realize that there's something, that they can do to be
No,
grateful.
say to me,
I mean, your daughter, just the fact that she has you and your husband, that's a huge blessing for her. And she has a boyfriend who really loves her.
yes.
So she's going through a lot. And who
Yes.
knows why these things happen, but they're still blessings,
Yes,
like-
I know, but she
Yeah.
don't see.
Sometimes it's
Yeah.
harder, sometimes it's harder.
Well,
But
she has the right
she has
to-
you,
she has
who's
the right to
like,
feel that way.
we met her,
Yes,
she was so, she had so much.
She has the right to feel that way.
Yeah.
I'll just say a
Okay.
very quick, I'll say a very
I
quick.
took a picture.
Okay,
I'll
of
just
it.
say a
let's-
very quick thing.
yeah.
Yesterday I was like getting my nails done and
Nice.
this woman this woman in the salon, there was only me and one other woman. She, the whole time, they encourage you not to be on your phone.
Mhm.
She, the whole time on her phone, talking about death and horrible things and this and that and that. Every single bad thing you could think of. And I had to keep saying, Hashem, like infuse me with positivity. Because I mean, this is like a hard time in society. People are
Mhm.
going through a lot. I mean, your daughter, your family, a lot,
Yeah.
but everybody is just in a bit of a funk. And so, but I just like, Hashem, don't let this energy rub off on me, please, and I'm like, I'm grateful for all I have. And then I'm like, and then I started listening to her. I'm like, but yeah, I guess life is hard. And literally the moment I said that, this guy walks down the street with his leg amputated
Oh my
on
God.
a crutch. And I'm
Oh my
thinking, you
God.
know what?
Yeah, wow.
Better go back to the positive thinking. As soon as I let that creep in, it was
Yeah,
just like, it
crazy.
just-
Crazy. So let's read text number 9. I don't know if we're to read that yet.
Did I read?
I don't know.
Who's 9?
I can read it through.
Okay.
go for
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Why is the Torah?
No,
Oh.
read.
Oh, you want
It's
me?
okay, go ahead.
It's short, so I take the short one. You get the long one, you get the
Yeah,
next
she
one.
just-
Please, go ahead.
Why does the Torah punish an ingrate so excessively? Because ingratitude is like heresy, okay, a heretic, is also essentially ungrateful.
Okay, so let's say if you're ungrateful to God, he gives you things you don't realize that it's a blessing, right? So a heretic doesn't recognize God. Heretic, doesn't recognize God, in a bigger sense, but it's the same idea that you're not recognizing that the gifts that you're getting, the blessings you're getting are from God.
Question, when you say be grateful, you can be grateful to a person, like, you make
Oh, of
cookies,
course.
so, I mean, but I don't have to say thank for the cookies, thank God, I don't do the whole, I get to say thank you for the cookies, I mean, I have to go through.
But then you do the
thank you.
bracha and you're saying thank you,
I do
Hashem,
the
right?
bracha,
Okay.
Yeah, but no, I'm not counting that part, no, just saying just direct, like I say, hey, thank you for the cookies.
Okay.
But that's good enough, isn't it? Or do I have to go through the whole thing, thank you, don't have to thank Hashem for making sure you make the cookies, I mean,
Oh, so
We
don't
have to live a normal life.
Okay.
We have to live a normal life.
Okay.
You know what? There's this guy, Rabbi Simon Jacobson. I don't know if you've heard of him. He gives a weekly talk class, whatever, and people can send in any questions and he'll answer every question, no matter what your question is.
Right.
He's going to answer it at the class. So someone said, my husband's getting a little bit crazy. They'll say the same idea, but let's say Mashiach. Every single thing he does, I'm doing this to bring Mashiach. I'm doing this to bring Mashiach. He's it's getting a little out of hand. What should I do? So he answers her. But yes, we have to live a normal life. So, but if if in your head and you're thinking and your way outlook is that you're grateful to everything Hashem gives you, and you're saying the blessings, and you're saying you're doing your prayers and everything like that. Yes, that's good. Okay. So
You drive yourself nuts.
yeah. The Torah's view on gratitude, as we said, is recognizing good and recognizing that it's coming from Hashem. That's complete gratefulness. Now we're going to read some letters from the Rebbe and things like that of really interesting, say attitudes, takes, say the ways people looked at things. Okay, so let's read text number 2. And I have no clue who wrote.
That's number 10.
10.
Long.
Shelley likes reading long ones.
Okay, Shelley, want to do it?
Yeah, you do it, Jelly.
Sure, no problem. By the grace
Letter
of God, for Shabbat 5716, Brooklyn, greeting and blessing. In response to your letter from the month of Kislev, in which you write about your current situation and how your entire life you've never experienced anything good, and then you ask for a blessing for your wife and children. Apparently, you don't notice the contradiction in your own letter. For someone whom the creator of the world arranged a match and blessed them with children, may they live many long years. To say that he never experienced anything good in his life is ingratitude to a shocking degree. There are hundreds and thousands of people who pray every day to be blessed with children and would give everything away, give away everything they own for a single son or daughter, and still have not merited to receive this blessing. May God answer their prayers soon. And you who did receive this blessing, apparently without having to pray for it excessively, do not recognize the wealth and the happiness therein, and write in your letter what was mentioned above. And moreover, you conclude that you don't believe that God will ever help you, for you believe it is decreed upon you to be poor and miserable your entire life.
Is that continues, Shelley? 1 second. Okay.
Obviously, I don't mean that one has to be poor or unhealthy. I just want to draw your attention to the fact that maybe the meager income and poor health stem from the fact that you do not recognize God's blessing in an area even more important than perfect health and a comfortable income, which is the blessing of having sons and daughters who follow in God's ways. When one doesn't recognize the blessings they already have, especially when they ignore them, to such a degree that it is expressed in the harsh expressions you used in your letter, why is it so shocking that they don't receive additional blessings from above?
It continues a little bit more.
I hope that these few lines will suffice to open your eyes to see the situation for what it is. When you begin to serve God with true internal joy, God's blessings relating to health and income will certainly increase, as it can be understood from many sources, including Zohar. Volume 2, 184b, with blessing, signed by the Rebbe's secretary in the Rebbe's name.
So this is powerful. Very
Yeah.
powerful. Everyone's quiet.
Joy.
Everyone's quiet. Yeah.
Well, you interpret it.
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
It was pretty self-explanatory. That
Well,
this
no,
guy is
no.
saying, oh my goodness, I don't have this, I don't have that. But he mentions he has a wife and children. And then he goes on, the Rebbe goes on, what? You're saying you have no blessing and no good in your life? You have a wife and children. How many people in the world don't have a wife or don't have children?
Yeah.
So be grateful and be appreciative for you do have blessings. Don't say you don't have any blessings.
In Hebrew, we say להסתכל על החצי כוס המלאה. You have
Half full glass, half full, or half empty? How do you look at it? Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay. So this gives us powerful insight to practice gratitude. And here's another letter, text number 11, another letter from the Rebbe.
Interesting.
A little part.
You
of
want
it.
me to read that too?
Can I just say one
No.
thing though?
Oh, just to say.
This
What?
also says though that if you like maybe did something bad, you don't recognize the blessing, you might be sort of punished in a way. But couldn't it also be that there's certain things God gives you that are negative that for whatever reason you, not because you deserve them, but because they were better for you according
You have
to
to work
God's
on yourself.
wisdom.
You have to work on
Maybe
yourself, you're
because of
saying.
God's wisdom,
Right,
like
right.
that for whatever reason.
It makes you grow to who you're supposed to be.
I mean,
נסתרות
anything, who
דרכיה.
knows?
Yeah.
I can see
And
it.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
not to go as an
Yeah.
example, I hate to
Not
say it
everything
that
is
way,
because you did
but like I said,
bad
it's
or,
for
you
somebody
know.
else, aside from me for you.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I see something like, wow, that's for me, even though I'm not that person.
Yeah.
Just watching them, like, I can see, not like this story, I'm just saying like, oh, I thank goodness, like I'm.
That you have this and this, and you see that
like
person
the
doesn't.
one-legged
Yeah.
guy, You don't
Yeah.
realize, oh my God, thank goodness I'm not the one-legged guy, right?
Right, exactly.
It's so hard to compare
Exactly.
yourself to other.
Exactly.
To other.
Right.
Well, let's read text number 11. Wanna
Okay,
skip out yet?
yes, okay, thank you. Let me put on my glasses. Another point, which is no less important, is that which is explained in our Holy Torah, which is that the number of blessings one receives is dependent to a certain degree,
To a certain degree, okay.
to a certain
It's a lawyer,
degree, on how the person receives them, acting in consonance with the recognition of Hashem's kindness increases the flow of blessings and the capacity to receive them in both the near and long-term future.
So like, if you remember when we were speaking about the Nishmat prayer, I said remember you asked
Nishmat?
me the Nishmat, the
What's Nishma?
Bechukosai, the
the
souls of
40
every,
days?
yeah, because as I said because that prayer shows how Hashem makes everything and creates the gratitude in Hashem, and that's why you say
I
that
need to
prayer,
do
because that kind of
Forgot to
brings
do that. I need
it
to-
brings out the gratitude that you have for Hashem.
Nishmat.
So there's a story of two Hasidim, and they go to visit their Rebbe, and they're coming from the same town, same area, and they each ask for a private audience, and one comes in and he says, how are things doing from Odessa? How are things doing in Odessa? Are the people there, are they good? Are they serving Hashem properly? Are they following the ways of the Torah? And the man says, yes, they're doing great. Everyone's working so hard, and they're really trying their best to serve Hashem and give them, the davening, and shul so nicely, and they're helping each other and they're giving a little beautiful report. And the Rebbe returns all these blessings to him. Then the next one comes in and he says, how are the people in Odessa? Are they serving God well? Are they praying nicely? Are they doing mitzvahs? And I guess, oh, it's terrible. You don't know the young generation. They're not like the old generation. They're not doing it as well. They need a lot of help. And the Rebbe says, okay, have a nice safe trip, trip back. And the man's like, what? You gave my friend all those blessings. Why can't you give me those blessings? He says, do you think I need you to tell me what spiritual level the people in Odessa are? I'm asking you, because I say, whatever answer you give, that's where I know where you're holding. Yeah, so if you give glow, if you saying your spiritual state isn't good, why should I give you the blessing? But if you're gonna say your spiritual,
Wait, their spiritual state or the spiritual
No,
state?
well,
of their
he's
neighbors
asking,
in the
it's
city?
the reflection of you.
It's a reflection.
The way he gave me an
It's
answer.
not about them, it's about you.
Okay, because I was gonna say, what about people in this, I mean, I believe in Hashem, so I hope this isn't a reflection of me, but
Right.
people who I know that don't believe in God, they're still good people, they don't dislike God, they don't have any belief or any relationship, and they're rich, successful, have all these, thank God, but
Yeah.
so what about that situation?
Yeah, I've seen that too. Yeah.
That's right. So I mean, there's
It's all
like the
around.
same answer that it's like
Yeah.
the same that she asked. Like does you thank God for everything in your life? Is everything a blessing?
Yeah.
It goes all in that category, which is the whole thing. Why do bad things happen to good people? Why do people who seem to be so bad sometimes get all the blessing? So that's a whole answer to that. Like as we said before, it's a whole mission and what you're meant to do here in life. That's a whole different
Well,
story.
you have sort of an answer a little bit in ways. So just because you're doesn't mean you're happy. Just because you're sad doesn't mean you're happy, right? And they could be happy. Let's say you're poor, and God forbid, of course, and you're just happy and you pray all the time. This rich guy who's miserable sees you and says, wow, I wish I was you. I wish I was.
But she's saying someone who's everything
was-
about them, they are happy, they are satisfied.
Oh.
So that's a
Right.
whole
But-
different
but even
thing
though-
about
okay.
what our things are like.
Well, I'm just-
So
yeah,
yeah, no, so 100%.
No, I think yes, Yvette, I
Yeah,
have
that's
to just
all.
agree, you know, when you see a beautiful woman all dressed
Yeah,
up,
yeah.
Chanel getting out of her Bentley, but
Right.
she just came from the oncologist's office and got really bad.
Right, or
news.
she just
What's
came,
it- what
or
is-
she just came
or-
from the
or
divorce
I-
lawyer or
No,
whatever.
no, she's not saying that. She said people who, not hidden, not people who have hidden.
Right,
things.
no
No,
hidden
no,
bad
not
things,
talking about,
no
that's a
hidden bad
different,
things.
thing. No, she's saying people who have no
Okay,
problems,
well-
no oncology, no cancer, nothing, no, but people
Sometime-
who
right, so
are
there's-
really rich and just, there's no problem.
There's lots of,
And
I'm talking
happy and
about-
blessed.
yeah, no, there's
with
lots
their
of books
kids.
on it.
I-
There's lots of books
I
on
don't
it, there's
know.
lots
I
of,
don't
No,
No, saying, but there's lots of-
I'm not comparing it, you made your point.
Okay, no, there's lots of books on it, that's what I'm saying, I'm not discussing, there's answers, I'm just not discussing the class,
Right,
okay?
but you could turn.
But I was
to
say it's the
their-
same question as that
Right.
Yael had. Okay,
Yeah.
so anyway, sometimes, you know, it's hard to always think about every single thing. Oh, wow, that's a blessing, that's a blessing. You know, we live our lives and, you know, we had a bad day and this happened and that happened. We're not thinking, oh, wow, thank you, Hashem, I have a roof over my head. Oh, thank you, Hashem, that, you know, I have food to eat. You're living your life. And sometimes life isn't so good. And sometimes life does give you lemons and, you know, and you're not so happy and everything. How can you like
Make lemonade.
change your brain
Make lemonade.
to actually be grateful even when you don't feel it?
Right.
How do you change your brain to like
Right.
think good and think
Right.
positively when you are feeling very sad and depressed and you don't have good news and, you know, all these things. So one of the tricks is if we verbalize, instead of just thinking, say, thank you, Hashem, for giving me this day. And I know Shelly sometimes practices that, right? Like, thank you,
What's
Hashem, for
that?
this and this, right?
Also, with your own.
I do all the time.
I said all the time.
Oh, I
So
do.
it's for your own ears. It's
I
like-
But
I do 3.
When you
Yeah.
say it makes your brain believe it, okay? So it kind of influences
Okay.
how you think. So we have to verbalize,
That's right.
you know,
Right.
thank God I have this. Thank you, you know.
Thank God I'm here.
Thank God I'm here, whatever it is. So it
Somebody
makes a
got
big
elected.
difference. So
When you're welcome,
The
yes,
Modani.
Modani.
the first.
Yes.
Modani.
So try to avoid bemoaning or cursing or like giving feed to all the negative things going on in your life, right? Don't give them oxygen, don't give them what to breathe,
Mhm.
right? And
Mhm.
and this way, so because you don't want to bring that into your life. So your speech is very powerful. And your speech really makes a difference, which we said
Word.
before, yeah. Speech
What
makes a
number are
big
we
difference.
on?
Text number 12.
We're the original less spiritual guru people, you know, today they have all the
Yeah.
people
Of
with the
course.
self-growth and positive
Yeah,
speech.
yeah.
We're
No,
the
sorry,
original-
in Hebrew it's yes, there is a, I think it's
Different?
in Hebrew, it's not okay, so.
What is it say?
Number 12.
What does
Yes,
it say?
it's not written
Oh,
right,
just
but
you
it
know.
doesn't matter.
Oh, it's Yiddish. It's Yiddish.
Ah, it's Yiddish.
Yeah,
Ah.
yeah. With some Hebrew words in it.
Okay, so I will read in English.
Okay.
When a Jew is careful with their speech, when they do not all allow any expiration, that is the option of blessing to ext their months, then they experience only good and abundance. Ah, okay, of blessing.
Okay, so when you're careful with your words, when you're careful what you
Of your mouth.
say,
Your mouth, yeah.
whatever you say, that you don't give expression to the negativity, you don't give
Yeah.
expression to the bad things, you only say the good, that is going to make a difference
So
in your
there is
life.
two
Very
shiklim,
powerful.
also to keep
Oh,
shmira
yeah,
al halashon.
yes, okay. So that's the
Don't
one
speak.
point.
Bad.
No, not to say
Not-
bad things.
Right.
That's what I just
Yeah.
said.
You're right.
I
yes.
interpreted your
Yes,
Hebrew.
thank you.
Right.
Okay,
My
so
best
that's,
friend's like that.
yeah, so that's.
Only good, nothing, no negativity. I can't even.
No,
complain
I
about
am
a small
also
thing.
like this.
Always just like,
Yeah.
everything's amazing. Like, it's just like, sometimes it's
also
like,
like
I'm
this.
I'm on the top, right? I was like, that's a chill. Maybe people chill a little bit.
You know, there is a therapy for not only speaking. Somebody that don't have a personality and they say, I'm not beauty, I'm not beauty. You know what they do for her? They put her on between a mirror and they say, every morning you go to the mirror and you say, I'm beautiful. I am beautiful. And,
Right,
and
right.
it's going
Right,
on.
that makes sense to you, yes.
That's right.
So
It's
number
working.
2 is you need to
It's
express
working.
gratitude as much as possible. So don't like don't give words to the negativity. So only make sure to say good expression from your mouth and try to express gratitude as much as you possibly. Even just saying thank you, Hashem. You know, there's a whole organization today, thank you, Hashem, and they make songs, they do all kinds of things. and just saying Baruch Hashem, just saying anything positive and gratitude, gratefulness. So as we said before, we wake up in the morning. What's the first thing we say? We say Moda Ani, which is it's our first thought in the morning should be gratitude. Now, text number 13, I'm going to skip because I feel like we just had the story in one of our other classes.
Okay, good.
But it's basically about saying Baruch Hashem.
But we
Okay.
have to have Yvette
Now-
read number 14.
1 second.
Maybe we're-
Okay, we're not done yet. Okay. So now to sum it all up into one sentence, we've been talking about all this time, and I want to say this text number 14 is a very short text, but my father used to say this, especially in his later years, all the time. Anytime there's a family gathering, anytime he saw like all his children, his grandchildren, anytime there's like a big, simcha, he always made sure to say this. And no, don't take all your blessings for granted. And what is it? Text number 14. We could do it in Hebrew and then in English.
Yes,
Okay.
you do Hebrew.
הודו לאדוני כי טוב, כי לעולם חסדו. It's
Yeah.
very.
Give thanks to God because he is
He's
good. His
good,
kindness is
goodness is
everlasting.
everlasting.
We say this a lot of places. We
Give
say this
thanks
in
to
every
God
Shabbos.
because he is
We say this
good,
in
For his
St.
kindness is
Hallel. We
everlasting.
say this a lot of times.
Okay, picture
Yes, okay,
taking
we're not done,
time.
done. Okay,
Well, I like this picture.
okay, good. Take a picture. Okay, so it's true that all the goodness comes from Hashem, but Hashem made agents. We said, what about people? You have to thank people, right? Anyone who gives you something or helps you, right? You thank them too. We are all God's agents. And as they say in the Talmud, who wants to end off this?
Anybody else online?
Text number 15. Shelley, you want to do it?
Sure. Even though the wine belongs to its owner, gratitude is given to the one who pours it.
Where is it?
Okay.
Ooh,
So
now
we
it was
thank the
a-
people who,
Ooh.
right, who help us through our journeys. I wanted to share. So there's a very powerful class. Sometimes we think it might be difficult to be grateful or to say thank you or to see the good in something.
Mhm.
But at the same time, how important it is to express that gratitude. And there's a very famous, I don't say famous, but there's a woman who she became famous lately since October, since that whole October 7th. She, 1 second, let me just unshare it for a second. 1 second. She, unfortunately, she lost her husband early on in the war. And she's been this major source of inspiration. And her name is Hadass Lowenstern. Now, I don't want to not how to share the whole story, but she has 6 children. And she is like going on and just continuing and very strong in her faith, and that she has to do this video. So I want to show you the end. I want to show you how powerful.
I think she's on Instagram and
It is a little bit.
it's gotta be her. I wonder, maybe. We'll see. Okay.
Okay, one second. I just want to show you. So she lost her husband. This was probably videoed a month or 2 or maybe 3 afterwards. She's always saying how she's moving on, she's moving forward, and she's living life. She's not going to give the enemies any. But she ends off this little talk with something very powerful.
I say thank you to Hashem for all that I was zocheh to have, because Hashem doesn't owe me anything, and He gave me so much. He gave me this wonderful husband and this wonderful family. So I just I thank Hashem, and when it's harder, I thank Him more.
Ooh, that's the lesson. That's what I'm saying.
It's easy at all. I don't know
Right.
how.
I just try, sometimes when I get into upsetness with a friend that I really like, or him or her, whatever, I actually do it like I